G'day, I'm Adam David Collings, and I'm here at the Huon Bush Retreat in southern Tasmania. And these are the books that I read in February 2016. So, the first book that I finished during February was The Bands of Mourning by Sanderson. Now, this is the 6th book in the Mistborn series, but it's also the 3rd book in the Wax and Wane era on the planet Scadrial. Now, I describe this book as a kind of Indiana Jones meets Mistborn. In this one, Brandon plays around with a lot of the archaeology adventure tropes in the same way that he usually plays around with the tropes of fantasy. There's a lot of character arcs developing through this book. There's stuff happening for all our characters. I'm continuing to love the development of the relationship between Wax and Steris. There's just something appealing about their slow burn romance. As usual, he set things up pretty explosively for a big next book. This will be the final in this particular era, before he moves on to a 1980s level of technology on the planet. So the next book that I read was The Martian by Weir. Now, I'd already seen the movie, so I knew what was going to happen, but the book still kept me really engaged right the way through. I just loved how all the problems that he encountered were solved by thinking and intelligence, using science and maths. There's a lot you can learn from this book, if nothing other than these things are important and they can really help you. That's a lesson I'd like to get through to my kids. Ultimately though, this was a book about people coming together to help someone in need, and I think that's pretty special. It's interesting talking about this book while we're here at the Bush Retreat. This cabin we're staying in, it's powered purely by solar panels. There's a tank for water, a special composting toilet. You can run the hot water for a while, and then you've got to stop and let it recharge before you get any more hot water. It kind of feels a little bit like I'm living in the hab with Mark Watney on Mars. Just a little bit. Next, I read Mistborn's Secret History by Sanderson. Now, this is a novella that he wrote in secret and just sprang on us a couple of weeks ago. As the name suggests, it tells the secret history of some events that were happening in the background during the original Mistborn trilogy. It fills in a lot of gaps and it's really eye-opening. This was all stuff that Brandon had in his head, he just wasn't telling us about it. So the book answers a lot of questions, but it also raises a lot of new ones, and I think that's what a book like this should do. I've got a bit of a better understanding now of how this Cosmere Universe thing all works. I'm probably going to refer back to this again in the future as I continue to read more books as Brandon writes them. So if you're at all interested in his fantasy, then Mistborn's Secret History is essential reading. Just make sure that you've read the Mistborn books first, especially the original trilogy, but it's recommended that you at least read up to the Bands of Mourning as well. The next book I read was Ctrl Alt Revolt by Nick Cole. This is a cyberpunk thriller about an uprising by artificial intelligence. This is a heavy premise, but it's handled in a fun way. Much of the action takes place in online multiplayer games. One of them is based on Star Trek. The book is filled with delicious geek references. It was fast-paced and kept me on the edge of my seat. In addition to all the fun, it takes the time for some commentary on the world. I'd recommend this book to anyone who loves geekdom, especially fans of Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. There was a bit of a silly controversy about this one, which led to it being banned by the publisher, after which Nick Cole self-published it. I'm not going to go into all of that here, but author Michael Bunker wrote a very good article about this, which I'll link in the description below. Well, those are my February books. If you've read any of them or you're interested, I'd love to hear your thoughts and ideas. If you would like to get a free short story, you can sign up to my email group. There'll be instructions below. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Catch you later.